Welcome back to Down the Stretch, everyone. Mike Veach to my left, I'm Mark Asano, and the Woodbine Mile goes to Rahi's attorney for Ian Black and Slade Callahan by a length and a quarter over Ventura. Kip DeVille, fifth, beaten 5 lengths. Listen, I've been looking at grass races for many decades, and just because a horse handles soft or yielding course at one venue doesn't necessarily mean he's going to handle it at another.
Agreed.
But that wasn't a very good
Not him at all. We haven't seen him do that bad in a couple of years.
At all. All right. To introduce our first guest, and it's not bad when your leadoff guest is a Hall of Famer. Here's Michael.
Well, the first gentleman up this morning is Hall of Fame trainer Shug McGaughey, who's going to be very busy in a few hours at Belmont Park. But he's got 2 young, good-looking youngsters for the matron and the futurity and criminologist later on. So, Shug, if you're there with us this morning, welcome back to the show with Mark and Mike.
All right, Mark and Mike, thanks.
Good morning, Shug.
Well, Shug, it's very good to hear from you this morning, and let's start, if we will, with Gone Astray for the futurity. And I'm sitting here looking at his past performances, and I'm looking at the way he won his second race, which kind of, in my mind, is really what you were hoping to see in the first race. So my question is, that debut, did things just go wrong that day in the mud?
No, it didn't really go wrong. It just, I thought Alan kind of rushed him just a tad bit, and I'm not sure that he wanted that. My instructions to Garrett was just that. I said I think he got rushed a little bit the first part, in his first race, and maybe just come out of there and let him get himself together. And he said he just sort of kind of bided his time back there, and when it was time to go, I thought he got to his horses pretty easy and won pretty easy. I mean, the hot thing that day didn't break, but so who would have known? But I mean, I thought, he trained really well on that Monday before, so I didn't see any reason in the world why he wouldn't run good. It's just a matter of there was something in there that was better than him, then maybe he'd get beat. But
Shug, how did he train for his debut as you brought him along for the races? How was he in general to prepare for his first start?
He was easy. He was a pretty precocious horse. I mean, he's always been good and sound, and so we were just kind of bringing him along. And we don't do a whole lot with him in the wintertime breeze-wise. Just kind of 2-men lick them and get them used to the gate. I don't even break any of them in Florida. I'll wait till I get them myself to do that, or bring them to Saratoga and let Bob Duncan fool with them. And so, he never missed a beat. And I thought he got ready to run, and we went on and ran him. And, usually that first race up there, those first few weeks, those 2-year-old races are really tough.
Yeah.
And I thought about even maybe waiting, but I thought, well, let's go on and run him. And if he runs good, then maybe we could use one of the stakes coming back.
Well, you brought him back on August 23rd, and we're going to take a look at that right now. And for our audience for this race, Gone Astray is number 9 in this field. And while we're watching this, and before I go back to you, I'd like our audience to know that his mother, Illicit, is a half-sister to your Oaks winner, Smuggler, meaning that their mother is the one and only inside information who joined the Hall this past summer. So as we take a look at this race, Shug, going 6 furlongs, second out at Saratoga, describe his performance here, and in general how this went under Garrett Gomez. And we're watching it now.
I'm not watching. I'm on the telephone. But he, like I say, he just broke my, Garrett, he's a patient rider anyway, so he just kind of let him get his feet up underneath him. And, he said he was just biding his time. His statement to me when the race was over, when I talked to him after the race, was he said, I was just biding my time. He said, I hadn't even flipped my goggles down, going down the backside. And, he said he felt like he had the race under control at all times. And, obviously he did when it was over with. Like I say, when he asked him, I don't know where they are now, but when he gets to the quarter pole, you're pretty sure he's going to win.
We're just getting there right now, yep.
So, that was the one thing that kind of impressed me, was that when he asked him, he got there and went on about his business. And hopefully his experience will help him a little bit today.
I noticed that this work last Monday in 47 flat at Belmont Park seemed to be an awfully good move. How is he doing right now?
He seems to be doing fine, I mean, I can't second-guess anything. I thought his work this past Monday was similar to the work that he put in before he broke his maiden on the 23rd there on the training track at Saratoga. I mean, this track's faster than that. And, I mean, until yesterday, the main track here had been pretty fast. So, I thought his work was a very good work.
How was the track this morning, Shug?
Track was sealed down pretty hard. We had a lot of rain here yesterday afternoon and up into the night, I guess around maybe 10 o'clock. But I think the track will be fine this afternoon. To tell you the truth, I was kind of pleasantly surprised at how good the track was this morning. I mean, like I say, it was still had a lot of water in it, but he had it pressed down pretty tight, and I think he was going to kind of open it up a little bit when we got done this morning. Let the air hit it. We've had sun in and out a little bit, no wind, so I don't know what that's going to mean. But I think the track will be good to fast.
Shug, you're also going to saddle persistently this afternoon in the Matron, the 2-year-old filly. We're going to look at her race right now, her second race. Both of her performances were marked by late moves. She's number 1 in this field as she breaks her maiden. She wins going 7 furlongs, second out at Saratoga. I take it, Shug, that you always looked at her as wanting to go long?
No, I thought she was going to have some speed. She's about Smoke Black.
I'm going to talk about that later.
And I was really kind of surprised at her first race and how far she dropped out of it. But I think that she looks like her mother, and I think she's going to resemble her mother and that side of the family sort of running style. Her mother was out, I think, the second foal out of Heavenly Prize and by Deputy Minister, and I think that family. Even with Heavenly Prize, they wanted to kind of lay back a little bit and make a run. Yeah. I'm sure going 7/8 of a mile at Heavenly Prize would have probably gotten just about that far out of it, but going 1 1/8 or 1 1/4, of course, she laid up a little bit closer. And I think that's what the way it'll be with this filly. The one thing I was really impressed with her second race was that she was able to overcome that post.
Yeah.
And today I think she's got a much more favorable post, but she's not running against maidens, and she's going to be giving up some ground. So I've got to hope that maybe we get a pretty decent pace, and she's got a chance to run at them.
A little bit of a pedigree question here, Shug, and you alluded to it just a few moments ago when you talked about her. This is Heavenly Prize's family, of course, but her sire is Smoke Glacken, and Gone Astray is Dixie Union, and generally when our fans look at your past performances in the breeding of the Phipps stable, we sort of see AP Indies and Unbridleds, not Smoke Glackens and Dixie Union. So I'd like to ask you if in this breeding season, was the family thinking about putting some speed into these pedigrees?
When Dixie Union went to stud, we thought he had a big chance to be a good stallion. And, I mean, we didn't breed Storm Flying or My Flag or anything like that to him or Heavenly Prize, but we did breed, both these mares are, Alyssa was unraced, and Deputy Minister, she broke her maiden and then she broke her pelvis. And so we really didn't know what kind of, how she was going to carry a foal and this and that. But in that, to answer that, we were trying to put some speed into, that Deputy Minister mare, Just Reward, without spending a whole lot of money doing it. And with Alyssa being unraced and stuff, and us thinking maybe Dixie Union was going to have a good chance, it stud and put Northern Dancer on top of Mr. Prospector seemed like something we could do.
Well, that's
what sort of went into the thinking of that. I know. I think that if Just Reward, if either one of these horses win today, we'll probably step up their fire line just a tad bit.
Well, thank you very much for that. Shug, you're also going to bring criminologists out this afternoon for the Noble Damsel. And, when we were talking to you last year about her this time last year, we were talking to you about one of the hottest turf fillies in the East. That doesn't seem to be the case right now. So You know, I guess me and the fans are saying, why is she running today? And any explanation for the last couple of efforts?
I can't give you any explanation for the last couple of efforts. I mean, I thought that maybe on Belmont Day that it was so hot. I thought she was a little bit dull in the paddock, but it was hot for all of them. Johnny said that day she was in the bridle very good to the 3/8 fold and just came out of it. I thought I just kind of backed off her training a little bit for the Diana.
Mm-hmm.
I like to go on the 1.8 miles, and she'd run good over the Saratoga turf course. So, you know, I kind of went in there thinking that hopefully we would have a good chance. I was just going to throw the game out, but obviously I can't do that now. So my only explanation is, you know, maybe she's not a Grade 1 filly. Let's back down a little bit and put her back down where, you know, I know she's been competitive before. If she were to run really well today or something, then maybe I would probably step her back up. But I was just today I'm just trying to get her back on the right track to where, you know, maybe we can try the better ones later on.
Shug, if she's 5 years old now, is this her last year of racing?
Yes. She doesn't run any good today. It might be her last race.
Might be her last race. And Shug, finally from me this morning, I want to ask you sort of a general question, if you will. You're one of a number of New York trainers who may be thinking of the Breeders' Cup, and you've got some decisions to make. Is your general thinking to just stay right here if you're going Breeders' Cup and go out there cold for the synthetic, or might you shop for a race on an artificial surface before you go, or is it too early to even think that way?
Well, it's not too early to think that way.
Yeah.
Mike, probably my thinking would be a little bit is how do we run today?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we run today and, you know, it looks like we were third or something, we were going to go into the Frazette or the Champagne as a big price horse, it might be worth taking a shot to, you know, say take persistently to the Alcibiades or possibly the race in California. But I'm not going to put all my apples into the Breeders' Cup either. I'm gonna, you know, I'm hoping that both these horses run good today, and we can run back in the Frazette and the Champagne, and then I'll take it from there. But just to be chipping these 2-year-olds around, well, I'm going to run in the Oakleaf because the Breeders' Cup is going to be at Stand and Eat on an artificial track. That, you know, that's not going to happen because I think the Champagne and the Frazette, you know, stand on their own, and I think they're very good races, and they're races that, you know, when we start out the year, we're hoping we got a 2-year-old that can compete in them. And, you know, if I decide, even if we were to win both of them, and I decide I didn't want to maybe go to the Breeders' Cup, especially with the filly, you know, you got the Demoiselle down the road too, to where it'd be a 1.8 mile race around 2 turns, and, you know, when it comes into next year, you know, we're going to be thinking, you know, if she's that kind, Kentucky Oaks and Mother Goose and Coaching Club and Alabama and that type of stuff. So, you know, like I say, the Breeders' Cup, with it being in California and being on an artificial track, is not going to be a die-all for me. But also, if it were to come up, we would sure like to be able to go and be competitive in it.
Well, Shug, for my part this morning, can't thank you enough for your insights for our audience today. A pleasure to speak with you again, and here's Mark.
Good morning, Shug.
Good morning, Mark.
Just one question. Shug, I thought Carriage Trail ran wonderfully. In fact, I thought it was the best race of her career when she finished second behind Wait a While in the Ballston Spa. Your thoughts on that performance and what's next for Carriage Trail?
Well, I agree with you on that. I thought that was her best race. You know, Wait a While got, you know, she got the perfect trip, and we didn't, and got beat a length. You know, but Wait a While is very good too. You know, when she catches her turf course, she was champion 3-year-old filly, and, you know, she's won multiple Grade 1 races, so it's sure not any slouch to get beat with her. And maybe you could help me along with her next start, because I'm not really sure. But you know, I mean, perfect scenario.